From the curling mists that shroud the Grampian Mountains to the shadowed corridors of ancient stone halls, her presence is a whisper on the edge of perception, a drifting chill that prickles the skin. The faint scent of wildflowers long withered, the soft rustle of silk trailing over cold flagstones. She is the Green Lady, Scotland's most enduring and haunting spectral figure. And wherever she walks, sorrow follows like a shadow. Across the highlands and lowlands, from ivor-clad towers to battle-scarred ramparts, the Green Lady haunts Scotland's historic castles, her tale shifting with each stone stronghold, but always steeped in grief, betrayal, and the weight of ancestral sin. While countless variations of her story echo through the Glen's three castles, Craith's Castle in Aberdeenshire, Fyvie Castle in the same region, and Stirling Castle in the heart of Scotland, claim her legend most vividly, each weaving a distinct yet interconnected thread into the tapestry of her myth. She is not merely a ghost, but a symbol, a restless memory of lives silenced by violence and secrets buried in stone. Nestled in the rolling countryside of Aberdeenshire, Craith's Castle rises from a patchwork of manicured gardens and ancient yew hedges, its pink-hulled walls glowing softly under the northern sun. Built in the 16th century by the Burnet family, this tower house is a jewel of Renaissance architecture, its oak-panelled chambers and spiral staircases whispering of a storied past. Yet beneath its fairy-tale facade lies a tale so harrowing it chills even the warmest summer day. The Green Lady of Craith's is said to be a young servant girl, perhaps no more than 16, who worked in the castle's bustling kitchens during the 17th century. Her beauty caught the eye of a Burnet laird, or perhaps his son, and a forbidden liaison led to her pregnancy. In a society where such a scandal could ruin a noble family's honor, her fate was sealed. She vanished without a trace, her name erased from the household records. For generations, the story was whispered among the servants. A girl heavy with child, spirited away in the night, her cries muffled by the castle's thick walls. Centuries later, during renovations in the 19th century, workmen uncovered a grim secret beneath the hearthstones of the castle's nursery. There, hidden in a shallow grave, lay the skeleton of a young woman, her bones curled protectively around the tiny remains of an infant. The discovery sent ripples of horror through the Burnet family, confirming the tale that had long been dismissed as gossip. Since then, the Green Lady has been seen gliding through the tower's upper rooms, her pale face etched with sorrow, her green gown shimmering faintly in the candlelight. She cradles an invisible child, her steps silent but her presence heavy, as if the air itself mourns with her. Visitors to Craith's report an overwhelming sadness in the green room, where she is most often sighted. "It's like the room holds its breath," said Morag Fraser, a guide who has worked at the castle for a decade. "You'll be explaining the history, and suddenly the temperature drops, or you hear a faint sob. I've seen grown men leave in tears without knowing why. Some claim to have seen her standing by the window, gazing out over the gardens as if searching for something or someone lost forever. Though her ghost is not vengeful, her sorrow clings like damp stone, a reminder of a life cut short and a child never named." Further north in Aberdeenshire, Fyvie Castle looms over the River Ethon, its 5 towers piercing the sky like the fingers of a giant hand. A fortress of power since the 13th century, Fyvie has hosted kings, sheltered rebels, and borne witness to centuries of ambition and betrayal. Its opulent interiors, marble fireplaces, gilded ceilings, and tapestries woven with forgotten stories belie a darker legacy, one embodied by its own Green Lady, Dame Lilias Drummond. In the early 17th century, Lilias, the young wife of Alexander Seton, Lord Fyvie, was a woman of grace and charm, her beauty celebrated in the ballads of the time, but her failure to produce a male heir became her undoing. Seton, a man driven by dynastic ambition, grew cold and cruel, his disappointment curdling into malice. Legend holds that he locked Lilias in a tower room, denying her food and water until she wasted away. A slow, deliberate murder disguised as illness. Her death in 1601 was mourned publicly, but whispers of foul play spread among the castle's servants. The most chilling evidence of her fate endures in the castle's marital bedchamber, where her name, Lilias Drummond, is scratched into the stone windowsill, carved with such force that the letters remain sharp and clear. Some say she etched it in her final days, a desperate act of defiance against her erasure. Others believe her ghost carved it later, a spectral signature to ensure her story would not be forgotten. Her apparition, clad in a flowing green gown, is said to haunt Fyvie's corridors, her footsteps echoing in the dead of night. Unlike Craith's mournful spirit, Fyvie's Green Lady carries an air of quiet menace. Her appearances are often linked to misfortune, illness, financial ruin, or strife within the family who owns the castle. "She's not just a ghost, she's a warning," said Angus Reid, a local historian who leads tours at Fyvie. Old families like the Setons had power, but power comes at a cost. Lilias paid it, and she makes sure no one forgets. Visitors have reported seeing her in the Great Hall, her figure flickering in the candlelight, or hearing a faint scratching sound from the bedchamber, as if she were renewing her mark. In 1920, when the castle changed hands, a series of accidents plagued the new owners, and staff swore they saw the Green Lady pacing the battlements, her green skirts trailing like mist. To some, she is a martyr of a patriarchal age. To others, a restless spirit bound to the castle's sins. In the heart of Scotland, Stirling Castle crowns a volcanic crag, its golden stone walls commanding views over the battlefields of Bannockburn and the winding Forth. A seat of kings and queens, Stirling has witnessed coronations, sieges, and the intrigues of the Stuart dynasty, its history soaked in blood and ambition. Here, the Green Lady is less defined, her identity shrouded in the castle's layered past, yet her presence is no less potent. Some say she is a lady in waiting to marry, Queen of Scots, who resided at Stirling during her turbulent reign in the 16th century. Others believe she was a servant caught in the crossfire of courtly plots, perhaps poisoned or betrayed during a royal visit. A third tale, favoured by the castle's soldiers, casts her as a nameless woman who died defending the castle during one of its many sieges, her loyalty binding her spirit to its walls. Whatever her origin, Stirling's Green Lady is both guardian and omen, appearing to those marked for misfortune or to warn of impending danger. Soldiers stationed at the castle, particularly during the 19th and 20th centuries, reported eerie encounters during night watches. You'd hear footsteps in the governor's block, clear as day, but find no one, said Callum Docherty, a retired sergeant, who served at Stirling in the 1980s. Sometimes you'd catch a glimpse of green in the corner of your eye, or feel someone watching you. It wasn't threatening, but it made your heart race. In 1947, a young guard claimed to have seen a woman in a green dress standing atop the ramparts, her hair streaming in a windless night. Hours later, a fire broke out in the castle's kitchens, narrowly contained. Such stories have cemented her reputation as a harbinger, her presence a signal to tread carefully. Unlike the Green Ladies of Craiths and Fyvie, Sterling's spirit is elusive, rarely lingering long enough for a clear sighting. Yet her effect is undeniable. Tourists report an inexplicable dread in the Queen's apartments, where she is sometimes glimpsed, and guides speak of lights flickering or doors creaking open without cause. "She's tied to the castle's heart," said Elspeth Munro, a Stirling guide. "It's as if she's watching over it, but she's not at peace." Though separated by miles and centuries, the Green Ladies of Craithes, Fyvie, and Stirling share haunting similarities. The colour green, a potent symbol in Scottish folklore, links them all. In Celtic tradition, green was the hue of the fairy realm, associated with enchantment, but also with death and misfortune. A woman in green was a figure to be feared, her beauty a lure masking tragedy. The castles themselves, bastions of wealth and power, amplify the tales, their stone walls soaking up centuries of secrets, from whispered conspiracies to muffled screams. And at the heart of each story is a woman, silenced by violence, betrayal, or societal expectation, her spirit refusing to fade. Dr. Fiona Beattie, a historian of Scottish folklore at St Andrews, sees the Green Lady as a cultural mirror. These stories emerged in a world where women, especially those of lower status or under patriarchal control, were vulnerable, she explained. The servant at Craithes, the noblewoman at Fyvie, the ambiguous figure at Stirling. They reflect anxieties about motherhood, class, and power. The Green Lady isn't just a ghost. She's a narrative of resistance, a way for communities to remember those who were wronged. Beattie notes that the legends likely evolved from older Celtic myths, possibly linked to banshees or water spirits, but were reshaped by Christian moralities and feudal hierarchies. Yet for those who live near the castles, the Green Lady is no academic exercise. In Ballater, near Craithes, locals speak of her with quiet reverence, some leaving wildflowers at the castle gates to honour her unnamed child. At Fyvie, villagers avoid the castle grounds after dusk, wary of Lilius's restless spirit. In Stirling, pub conversations turn hushed when her name arises, and old soldiers swap stories of unexplained chills. Castle staff, too, tread lightly. At Craithes, cleaners refuse to work alone in the green room, after a mop was found standing upright in the middle of the floor. At Fyvie, a curator once discovered a single green ribbon on the bedchamber floor, with no record of it in the castle's inventory. Tourists, drawn by the allure of the supernatural, often leave shaken. A 2023 visitor to Stirling posted on X about feeling an icy hand brush her shoulder in the Great Hall, accompanied by a faint floral scent. At Fyvie, a photographer captured an unexplained green haze in a nighttime shot of the castle's facade, sparking heated online debates. Craithes, meanwhile, has become a pilgrimage site for paranormal enthusiasts, some claiming to hear a lullaby sung in an empty room. "You don't have to believe in ghosts to feel her," said Morag Fraser of Craithes. "She's in the stones, the air, the history. The Green Lady's endurance lies in her ambiguity. Is she one spirit, wandering Scotland's castles, or many, each bound to her own tragedy?" Some folklorists propose a psychological origin, the human need to personify guilt to give form to the sins of the past. Others, particularly in Aberdeenshire, suggest a supernatural connection to the land itself. Noting that Craithes and Fyvie lie near ancient standing stones and Pictish sites where offerings to spirits were once made. A few even link her to the Green Man, a pagan figure of renewal, suggesting a duality of life and death in her green-clad form. For Dr. Beattie, the Green Lady's power is her universality. She's a story we tell ourselves about justice, she said. Her presence says, you cannot bury the past. It will rise. That's why she lingers, not for revenge, but for remembrance. Beatty recounts a 2019 incident at Stirling, where a visiting school group reported seeing a woman in green watching them from a window. The teacher, initially skeptical, later found a 16th century record of a servant's death at the castle, her name unrecorded but her dress described as green. The Green Lady remains a fixture of Scotland's cultural landscape. Her story retold in books, podcasts, and candlelit castle tours. In Ballatar, Fyvie Village, and Stirling, she is both a tourist draw and a solemn legacy. Her name's spoken with a mix of awe and caution. Festivals like Samhain, when the veil between worlds thins, see locals light candles in her honor, their flames flickering against the autumn dark. Even skeptics admit to pausing in the quiet of a castle hall, listening for the rustle of silk or the echo of a sigh. So the next time you wander the ivy-bound halls of Craithes, the vaulted chambers of Fyvie, or the wind-swept ramparts of Stirling, tread softly. Watch the shadows for a flicker of green. Listen for the faint scent of wildflowers or the whisper of a name scratched in stone. The Green Lady does not seek your fear, but she demands your respect. She walks for those who cannot, her sorrow a thread woven into Scotland's soul. And in her silent vigil, she ensures the past is never forgotten. Many thanks for treading this tale's dark path. If its chill gripped you, like, subscribe, and comment below.